thing I know is you're all religious of that's very clear. Is that right? Thank you. This is another thing. So this is a very interesting place. Very busy place. Even if this gets boring, you'll enjoy the weather. It's very busy, but it's not very boring. Just like to keep it going. So today's this particular segment is really about. I'm going to introduce why Unity Circle came into existence, and also why what we actually offer, and why we exist. Why it is so fast? What we are intending to do across the world. So the story goes like this. It was a typical Monday morning, 8:50 a.m. I was in the elevator. My office was in the third floor. I was very then about 5 colleagues actually came in the ground floor. They were supposed to go to 6th floor, so they are from some other company because it's a multi-story building where different company, different colleagues work in the same building. They all came in and I found something strange. I found something strange where they did not look at each other. They did not say, hi, how are you? There was no smile. It was dead silence. They were a little sad. They did not ask, hi, how are you? How was the weekend? And stuff like that. In a normal Indian scenario, you might say that, that boss, this is all normal. What is wrong in this, right? But I actually kind of nailed down on that, and then that kind of stuck to my mind. In retrospectively, I actually went back and I thought about it. What is wrong in this? And something is wrong in this. I felt something wrong in this. They spend more time in the office than their family time. They are on the same floor for more time. They might meet in the cafeteria. They might have met in the washroom, the hallway, annual offsite meetings, quarterly town hall meetings, monthly team meetings, or inter-team meetings happens, or even the employee engagement activities keeps on happening in every company. But why this gap? Why there is no connectedness? That's something. That is one side of it. Right? This is an observation. Why this observation is that I also went and looked up in the internet and researched about it. And I kind of found that a very striking and shocking statement. 70% of the global employee workforce, 70% of the global employee workforce are not experiencing 100% well-being. 70% of the global employee workforce, this has to be repeated, that's why I'm saying 70% of the global employee workforce is actually not having 100% well-being. This actually says that there is a child which is being affected in somebody's home with a grumpy and angry mom and dad. What is the society we're building, and what's the employment of all the society we are building there? So there is something wrong. There's something there, right? So that is where I kind of subdivided this problem, this overall statement, 70% thing. One is the lack of disconnection among employees, lack of connection among employees. That's the first thing. Second problem I derived is that there is culture is actually left to default in majority of the companies. Everybody is from different companies. You are all senior positions in different companies, but I'm just saying about majority of companies, or sometimes it's not taken proactively. The culture is not proactively taken care. So these are the two fundamental problems actually kind of subdivided between this overarching problem. When culture is left to default, there are a lot of problems actually comes with it. One is there is a lot of attrition in the house, and that's company. Second is lesser productivity, and also there is a well-being is getting affected, and obviously the business or the customer also is getting dissatisfied with the overall productivity. And there is a loss, there is an attrition, there is a cost of it. So there is a total impact from the business aspect as well, and also from the human beings aspect. So this is something to be solved. Right? So that is where I actually have two problems. One is the lack of connection. Second is the culture is left to default. So how to solve this lack of connection? when I was in the previous company, the last company, I actually did something along with the obviously the support of the site head and also with the HR. I worked with them, and as an employee, actually, I did something I saw on the floor magical. I was the governance lead for the website, where a lot of we started many ERGs. ERGs means basically the communities inside the companies. Business resource groups or ERGs or employee resource groups, different names are there. It's kind of popular in the GCC world in India. In the US and the different other regions, it's all very important. And also, I have a background from a community leadership perspective in the city. I kind of represent the cycling community of Hyderabad. So, in that way, I've also seen the community impact as well. So, that is where my play actually is coming in. Why I need to solve it and with the help of all of you. The power of community is actually to be realized. So, that is where the lack of connection can be solved, is what I believe. There is a hidden, powerful forces at work, which is basically the employee communities. When we build the employee communities strategically and then tied up with the purpose of the company, there is very something very impactful we can actually do. It's kind of a formal, informal layer. Formal, informal layer we can build under the formal organization, which will eventually impact the formal organization positively. That's something I kind of realized when in my last GCC journey. I kind of saw it firsthand. People were very happy. There was high retention. Later on, I actually kind of realized that there was so much impact from the business as well. High retention. People were happy. High productivity. People were happy to come to the office. So my first problem about the lack of connection in the company can be solved to some extent by building communities strategically connected to the purpose of the company and also with the proper governance structure, proper funding, and aligning to the vision of the company. If we do that, then we can actually make an impact in terms of the connection among the employees. Not only among the employees, but also having the connection with the purpose of the company as well for all the employees. So that's the solution to that. So one more thing, when I went to conferences and different places and all, different HR heads or site heads, when I spoke to them, there was a fundamental lack is that the measurement of the employee engagement was actually kind of in a backstage. So that's something, that's the first product. Belong OS is the product where we actually manage the employee engagement. And also we measure about what is which all departments are very active, who are very active, who are a bit siloed out, and we actually connect that to the ROA as well. So that is that's the USP of this particular product. That's not there in pretty much mainstream products today. That's the first product. It's called Belong OS, where we help manage the employee and also measure the employee. Even I spoke to many site heads, ECCs, I spoke to in different conferences. They don't have it. They have it in some Excel, and it's not properly reported. It's probably with the Power BI or so it's reported. Obviously, there are some mature GCCs who actually do that in some structured way. But that's where we actually define the ERG maturity journey. There is an informal ERG maturity. There is structured one. There is recognized, structured. There is impact-driven strategy. So there is a spectrum we have actually created where we can actually help companies to move towards the ERG maturity. That's the first part. There is a consulting around it, and also there is a product for measurement of it. So this is the first product. This is more, if you see, this is more from a bottom up. We are actually getting the employee communities together. This is something what HCL Vineet Nair actually has done, right? Where he actually empowered the employees to get the output of it. So that's pretty much the concept. This is more structured with the product, and even it's the app also, so you can actually take a look. So that's the power of this. So it's not there. In fact, we are the first ERG and culture innovation company in India. Nobody is actually talking about it. So I know that it can be done internally, right? So mom and dad can actually teach the child, but there is always a need for the tuition teacher. There is a need for an external as well. There's a different perspective, right? So that's where we actually come in, and we can definitely do some impact. So this is not a, this is Yeah, so explain. So this is the one product, right? Where it's more of a ground up, bottom up thing. So other perspective, when I actually went in and then I saw in different forums, different conferences, different organizations, and I listened to different experts as well. One more thing which repeatedly kept on, I heard in the conference rooms is that there is a need for empowerment of the CHROs. They need a CHROs need a seat at the table. That's what they are fighting for it. Actually, there is a fight going on. So what is that needed is that they need strategic data. They need something. They need something very strategic. Very strategic data is needed. So that's something what we can actually do from that perspective. So from a top down, what we can do from a top down. So that is the other angle where to solve the second problem about culture is actually left to default. How to solve it, right? So in order to measure it, to show what are all the insights of the culture which is happening. It's kind of a CHRO cockpit. It's kind of a CHRO cockpit where we listen as a chief listening officer. The system will actually listen into different spaces, obviously protecting the privacy, and also we'll keep the anonymity and do a group reporting only. It's only from a very department-wise reporting as well. So reporting also is very anonymous, and also capturing also is very kept very private, and it's actually legally allowed and ethically allowed from a anonymity perspective. Only in Europe or so some regions it's not allowed, but in US and India it's allowed. So that's the listening part. Chief listening officer, it will actually continuously listen from an active listening perspective and also from a passive listening perspective. Active listening is more about whatever is happening in the industry today with the surveys and different things. That's where our actually consulting angle also will come, where we actually go to the company, we do the culture assessment, we do surveys, we do one-on-ones, we do focus group discussions, we collect as much data, we'll also do observations, we'll sit in a place, we'll observe different aspects, different angles from different locations, different times, and we'll note down all that and then get it into the system, which is the culture section. And then also passive listening, where we'll actually go into the Viva Engage, Facebook Workplace, different digital systems. We have Kodryx AI, they will actually explain our partner, strategic partner who actually implemented this. We actually listen into that and then get a lot of insights, culture insights, and that will be brought in. So at a certain point of time, CHROs will be able to see the entire spectrum of what is the behavior, what is the sentiment, what is the so surveys, whatever survey says, it's actually not the full truth, right? So this is actually much more one step ahead, and that's the biggest advantage of this. So and also no, I mean, in fact, this is a very special area called culture, belongingness, connectedness, and in India. Nobody in India is doing. I mean, nobody is doing this. We are the first ERG and culture innovation company to do this. So this is the listening part, and then we get that CHRO directly. So in this way, what happens is they will be able to continuously see what is the problem with the culture, and then proactively something can be taken care. When proactively culture is taken care, obviously high retention will be there. At the same time, there can be two things which are very much important things can be achieved. One is the productivity, second is the happiness and the well-being of the employee. So that is the fundamental problem, right? So this is what we are actually doing in culture sense. This is the belong voice and then cultures. These are the two products, and why Unity Summit exists. We have actually created our own purpose, and it's a long journey. We have decided that it's going to be a very powerful thing which we are going to do, and this is first time in India we are going to do. So we have actually created our own purpose to create workplaces by enriching culture and empowering communities. So we are not a company where you actually get the money and then give a certificate like some companies. We don't want to do that. We wanted to go and deep clean or help the people who are actually doing stuff, and we will actually share our expertise, and we'll add value to the people who are actually doing it. So that is where we actually we just don't want to just give certificates. So this is the fundamental thing about it. So again, the purpose is actually create workplaces with the enriched community, I'm sorry, enriched culture and empowering communities across the world. That's the vision as such. We won't start in India. We are right now focusing on the GCCs. We are we have put a runway till last year. About 6 months we have been working in the underground. And what is our vision? How do we do this? How we will do this? Right? How we will achieve these great workplaces with by empowering communities and enriching culture. How we will do that is that we have four pillars. One is that awareness. This event itself is a it's it's not just a product launch. It's more of a culture movement where we are actually spreading the word. We are actually emphasizing the word culture. Again, obviously, this is something you might have heard million times in your organization. But we wanted to underline, we wanted to emphasize this particular word and make a buzz around these words. So culture, connectedness, belongingness, and psychological safety. These keywords we wanted to fundamentally emphasize more and more. So that's the awareness part. Second is actually research. Second pillar is more about research. Whatever we have done in this research and innovation, these particular two products are also kind of innovation. This also involves, actually uses AI as well, which I will explain. So second is a research where we continuously research around it. We are trying to learn about psychology, what is the organizational behavior, different aspects. We are actually going in deeper and trying to find more and more problems, how we can actually solve. So that's the research and innovation. Third is actually data and technology, data and AI. More and more data we get, more analysis we can do, and we can use AI as well to do product. We are actually, Kodryx AI actually has used LLM in this culture sense. And also in the Belong OS, we have used AI insights, which actually comes out as inference and all. So it's very minor, but culture sense they have used very heavily. We'll actually brief about it. The fourth one is more about the people. So without people, it's not. The fourth pillar is we'll work with the people in order to make this happen. These are the four pillars in order to achieve what we want to do. Awareness, research and innovation, technology, last is people, and our purpose is to build great workplaces by enriching culture and empowering communities. Thanks a lot for listening. And this is kind of a culture movement. I will finish it with the three kind of asks. One is that this doesn't have to be a commercial thing. It can be a forum. It can be connected. We can do many things. If you have a problem, use case, you can let us know, and we can also try to solve in different ways. Because we've dedicated our lives. I've taken a bigger risk 6 months back, and I'm on this journey. There were many other options, but I decided that this is something. It's kind of a calling for me in that way, where it's kind of a purpose I've actually designed, defined myself. Where this I would like to do and try to make an impact, because this is something which I can do. There is so many parameters. It's like an ikigai. I've got the passion around it. The community is the passion. But if you heard community while I'm sleeping, I'll probably wake up. So, and secondly, there is this the people. People is something very getting a lot of people together itself is a kick for me. So that's what I do in the cycling community as well. Getting a lot of people together in one room and then get the kick out of it. Have chai together. That's the picture. Kind of see how I would have served chai and all that. So it's kind of a passion for me to do something which is starting from that striking and shocking statement. 70% of the employee global workforce is actually suffering without 100% well-being. So that's the purpose actually. It's not a Ikigai, as I said. Purpose, passion. Second is I have got the skills. I've been a PMI, many of my PMI or board members and Tom, thank you for that. They're all family members to me. So they're giving support from that perspective. So that I started with from a skill set perspective, project management and all. Last I designed kind of a strategy and ops kind of person. So I have the right skill set for that. And does the world need it? Yes, world needs it. But will the world pay for me? That's something in the question. So that's something I'm still trying to knock the doors. But there is very good traction. There is there is a need for it. As I said, still it's seen as when physics Lala can do so many branches for fusion. That's the same thing I'm actually doing. So I'm trying to create my house where I will help as a tuition teacher. Constantly coming to the house and do the deep cleaning stuff. Right? So that's what it is. So I was talking about three asks. One is the social movement about culture. We all have, I mean, obviously you're all in different organizations. You have your own influential space, you have your own people. You're going to make a lot of impact. You don't have to involve me, but do the impact. Or continue to do the, sorry, continue to do the impact. Continue to do the excellence, whatever you're doing. If any help, let me know. That's the first ask. Second is, if any problem statement you have, please let us know. We'll try to solve. If you see anything in the industry trends, you can actually let us know. Third is actually, if any feedback from our product which you note, uh, let me know. So that would be very good. So I think I've taken the enough time. I'm really saying thanks again for patiently listening, giving your Saturday time, giving your class to being an ambition, being a friend. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for giving us a clear view. Why we are here, I hope all of you know now. So now is the fun segment. We have our speakers here. So now I'd like to invite all the speakers for giving us a clear view and share their aspects on today's event, which is followed by their felicitation. But first, let me apologize because ours is a very small event. So 5 minutes is given to all the speakers to share their views and insights. So first, I'll welcome Bhavani Pandey, People Partner Trinet.
Good evening. Thanks for the Saturday evening and congratulations to the Unity Circle team. I have been knowing Santana for the last 6 months, PR cohort of ISB. The first time he ever said that he's going to start this. This is the first time ever I'm hearing what exactly he's doing with Unity Circle and what this product is about. Uh, this particular topic about culture is extremely close to me. I'm very passionate about it. When he was speaking about people, purpose, and all, I am a kind of, human who strongly believe in people, process, and purpose. How do you align them together? And being into the HR community and all, a lot of times when you interview, when you hire leaders and, everyone from scratch, right? So one thing that definitely stands in one's mind is how people treated you when you were working. If that is culture, then this is what is culture. And for HR, yes, we have all great things on walls, but how do we put across as a micro behavior within an organization? So that is where all the minds put across what this culture is. How does everyone treat each other on a day-to-day basis? How do we really consult with each other with respect and all of these? You may have several values how you put across, and that's how at least I see culture. Something very unique about connectedness, especially after COVID, right? So when we all went working from home completely, connected is like, okay, am I connected in Teams, Slack? Do I have meetings and all? Yes, you do. It's a true connectedness. How many of us really did miss like having a small talk over a cup of coffee? Like, do you know you as a person? How do am I really valued for what I am? Is my opinion be continuous here? So those things were actually when Santana was definitely telling this across to me. The other important aspect is the fancy word of being inclusive, sense of belonging and all of these. As a HR, I really admire those jargons. I always was trying to figure out what does this actually mean. Inclusion, yes, when there is a closed room, allowed to be in, yes, you can come in. That is inclusive, yes, great. But I am belong. I don't have to adjust anything for me to be one among you. That is something, as a HR professional, it took a very, very long time to me to understand, okay, this is an actual belonging rather than me saying, okay, we are a diverse people. India is a very culture-rich organization. Where does culture come here and all of those things put across? And psychological safety is the most underrated one, and we have just started speaking about it. And this is the most fundamental pillar for any of the organization. When I say psychological safety, of course, I can go ahead and speak up what is there in my mind, irrespective of wherever I'm part of the hierarchy and all. It also means that I am a human. I can make mistakes. I know there have been, like maybe 10 years ago, someone part of my team was part of talent acquisition, walks up to my room when I was having a very serious discussion and said, Pavani, you made this mistake. Can we cover this up? That is psychological safety for me. We are human, we can make mistakes. We don't repeat the same mistake. Of course, then you will see the Bhavani in Bhavani. So I don't want to repeat the same mistakes, but when you okay, I know for me, I can get punished for being honest. How do you really do it? How do you build that across all levels? And there are a lot of data and how much is the workforce and all. 90% of the workforce are the first generation corporate workers. So when we do 90% of us, and of course, I think the data say somewhere around 70% of millennials and 27 into Gen Zs and all your verifications and all of those. When you have all of these, what really stands out is when I was young, I was always told, even if you disagree, don't talk. Just be silent. Silent is always agreed, like, okay, you agree to it and you don't agree to it. And when Gen Z comes over, we really want to value how they really think about it, how they really get included of, yes, this is exactly where I want. And even I come from a technology company all through. So you spending 2 years in a company is like, oh, good enough. Now you look forward and all. Sometimes attrition is very good. But losing good people is where the actual concern is. And people come back for the same culture that you really bring in. So thank you, Unity Circle team, and I'm definitely looking for your product. And this is something I'm sure every HR asks for us to build in a culture. But what is there in reality, very honestly, we knew. And any of the surveys, anything that we speak about culture, there's only one thing that rings in my bell. It's like we want to take off the hierarchy. When we speak about culture, it's like, oh, we are a flat organization, open to, open office culture and all of these. Even in a survey, the reason why we keep it as an anonymous is we only want to remove hierarchy and see the voice of everyone. Right? The moment we do that, our intention is not to know, okay, I'll take Bhaskar. Bhaskar has given this feedback, so do I really go penalize him? No. The intention is to hear the voice and see what needs to be actioned across it. Right. So it's much glad to see you all, and thank you, and good luck to the entire team.
Thank you. So now I'll invite Lata from PMIPCC for the felicitation.
Later note, Bhavani actually asked me to give a message, but she asked me in a near water cooler season. She asked, "What do you what do you do in your games?" It was like a 30 seconds thing because we are about to join a class. But I said I will not be able to do justice in 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Yeah. So, thank you. Thank you for the invitation. This one.
Thank you, thank you. So let us welcome Swarna Annapurna Reddy, HR and GCC Client Partner Monitor.
She has not done.
So let's welcome Reema Raj, Head and L&T Sai Life Sciences, to address the gathering.
Very good evening to everybody. Thank you very much, Santana. Yeah, thank you very much, Santana, for inviting me to this gathering. So yes, Vani and I have been knowing Santana for almost 6 months now as part of the ISP's Industry HR cohort. And every time we meet, we actually, at least I have been fortunate to have some deep conversations with Santana on this topic of culture. Now, I don't know how many of us in this gathering today are scientists or science students by education or by profession. I have been a science student by education, and yes, I do work for a pharma company. Uh, for me, culture is akin to the DNA that we all share. Culture is what gives me the identity of what an organization is. Um, what the work that Unity Circle today is doing, I think, is important because he's
Then they talk about going back to the basics. And India being culturally so vibrant, I think this should have been the calling of very many startups, right? At the time when the startups started booming up in the country. I'm glad that there's a good head start and lots of wishes to you. And I really hope that more and more people follow. Just like the DNA defines who I am as a person, how I want to behave, how I want to thrive, survive, and look and feel. Culture of an organization identifies, makes the people identify with a particular organization as to how I am going to be a befitting part in that organization. Um, just like if you mutate a DNA, I don't know how many of you follow scientific jargon, but yeah, just like the way you mutate a DNA, the DNA, either it makes you sick or it makes you stronger and healthier. There are shifts in cultures in an organization, and the multi-generational workforce that we're looking at in today's organization, especially in GCCs, I think it becomes extremely imperative for us to see the shift that the culture is making in an organization. Now, the onus of that shift, positive or negative, lies on the leadership. And when Santana was telling me it's bottoms up, I think leading the LNOD function of my organization, I very strongly feel this has to also be top to bottom approach. If my CEO walks the talk and kind of portrays the culture of the organization in every behavior of his across the organization, across sites, I think it has a much deeper impact. Now, culture is not something that I'm going to put up as a dictat on a notice board. It's not a poster that I can put up on the wall of my organization. It's something that I do day in, day out, especially when nobody's watching me. So I might as well walk the talk. All of my leaders, all my entire leadership team walks the talk. Chances are that it's going to get replicated down the line as well. And when that happens, it actually becomes like a movement. Anybody who's coming from outside finds it very easy to kind of see what is the larger fabric of the organization. Fit in, great. I do not fit in, I try and realign. I'm not able to realign, I think I know the answer. I might as well look for something which is more suited to my way of working or my style of thinking. Um, Now, when we say about culture, it's something that you probably cannot say. It's a very touchy feeling kind of a subject. You experience it. You cannot see it. You can only feel it. You can only experience it. Uh, Even though you cannot see, you can experience. Can we ever deny that there is a culture that defines an organization? No, we cannot. So just like I am comparing culture to a DNA, the DNA is a chemical structure. It has two protein strands to it. Connectedness and belongingness are two of my supporting strands of the culture. Let me take it one by one. Connectedness is something that I look for, which helps me to connect with each one of you, maybe by way of communication, maybe by way of collaboration, maybe by way of body language, the way we treat each other with respect, with the ease of working with each other, with the ease of interacting with each other. Whereas belongingness, I would like to break this particular word into two: belonging. The moment I feel that I long to be in a particular context or in a setting, the day you feel that you are longing to be in an organization, I think that's where you feel the belongingness. When you have the belongingness, you will definitely find the ways to connect with people. When you have all these strands in place, I think you very well fit the culture of the organization. Yeah. Uh, at the end, I think this is something extremely important. We all talk about it. It's become a very fashionable word to talk about culture. And I'm somebody who's been assigned to be the culture custodian of my organization. Trust me, it's a Herculean task. It's extremely difficult to make people realize what is culture. How do I take it forward? How do I multiply it? How do I align all my people? How do I see that everything fits well and my organization is going in the right direction? Having said that, I think Unity Circle and the kind of products you're bringing in in the AI-enabled environment, definitely is going to help us because we are no longer talking about those qualitative assessments of each other, those verbal interactions. We're talking more about what AI can tell me about how you feel, where you stand, what's your take on being in the organization. Are you planning to take off? And I think the products like Belong OS would definitely come in very handy when you're looking at the dashboards. The CHR cockpit thing, I really like that thing, because yes. So culture sense. It will actually give us a sense of the culture that's been there. And it's with the growing amount of GCCs and the kind of recruitments happening left, right, center, I don't think it's possible for us to manually do that. If we have something which is AI powered, which is there on my dashboard and gives me quick insights, I think I would be very happy as an LMOD head to encash that. Thank you so very much and all the very best to you, sir.
Thank you. So I would like to invite Hakila, Associate Director from Novartis, to felicitate our speaker. Thank you, thank you. Now let's welcome Seshu Srikanth, Vice President and HR, All Cargos Logistics. So let's welcome Manohar, President of PMI PCC chapter, a successful PMI community in addition to his corporate role in Amar Raju.
Good evening, friends. First of all, congratulations and all the best to Santana. I know him. Yeah, he's not a very old friend. I think I know him from last 1 year. But I think in 1 year, he has made a lot of impact on the way as a person, as an individual. So before talking about the Unity Circle or his products, right? As an individual, the impact he created, I think the way how he takes the culture into whatever he do, take the cycling association or with PMI or personally. So I think I know the capability of him. So definitely it is going to be a big successful product to you, Santana. And most of the organizations thinks about strategy, budgets, profits, and underlying to achieve all these things, something is very important, that is a culture. So if you don't have the proper culture, whatever the strategy you have, whatever the employees you have, it is not going to meet. Might be few of the organization might meet it, but I think in the current situation, in the current business dynamics, in this agile world, I don't think that it is going to happen. So I really like that what measure what matters. I'm from a project management background. Something which you can't measure, you can't achieve. So culture and employee belongingness and employee safety, psychological safety is very important, but many of the organizations they don't pay attention to it. And personally, I can say that one example which I have worked, I think I might have come 10 years ago, I worked in an organization. It is a very good organization. They have set up something in India, but they could not able to adapt to the culture of Indian environment and Indian people mentality. We tried to correct it, but employees just joined there to get a good paycheck or get a good role, and they just simply went out of the organization. And within no time, that organization didn't survive because they could not able to adjust to the culture. And also, it was more of a toxic thing. So it is very important as a GCC leaders and the organization leaders for us to assess that culture of the organization is very important to us and assess the employee well-being. See, some employee who feel safe, he can go his or her roles. Someone who feel belong, right? They can go beyond the comfort zone and make sure that they help the organizations to grow and meet the targets. So similarly, I think maybe 5, 10 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, if someone said that culture, of these things are very important to the organization, even I might have felt like, no, why it is important? It is more of a technical, managerial thing, or soft skills important. But I think when from last, I think 4, 5 years, I've been closely watching this, and it is very, very important for any organization, especially I work to an organization called Amaraja Energy Facility, and where I think our culture, this Amaraja employee well-being and employee belonged to the organization very well. But you can see wonders what it has been created. And even in project management, I would represent the community as a president, right? I will take one example. There was a volunteer who been there in our system. So he wanted to go out of the system. He's a good guy. He wanted to go out of the system. Then I got a chance. I interviewed him. I just spoke with him. Then I tried to have that empathetic conversation with him and try to understand what exactly. So he felt like his suggestions has not been heard properly. The value he has not given the value what it needs to be given. Then later we discussed with him and then we kept it in some other portfolio and gave him some other responsibility and we guided him and later he turned out to be one of the star performer volunteer of the community and later he got promoted within the community. This is a small example which is quoted because you have to hear to the people and give them the psychological safety and also make sure that you hear them and give the utmost importance to them that they are important to the growth and they are important to the organization. And this, I went through the brochure, Santana, and I think it's brilliant the way how you do the gap analysis, come up with the findings, then come up with the recommendations, have a clear-cut roadmap, how we can improve the scores, and phenomenal. And I look forward to have this tool, see it and see. Definitely, I will try to recommend wherever possible. And I wish you all the best, and we are there for you. Don't worry. I think just with a small phone call and a message, we can see 100 people sitting here and trying to support you. That shows the culture and whatever the person, as a personally as a person you are. We wish you all the best, and from PMI Pearl City chapter, definitely we can support you whatever the best that we can do for you. All the best.
So in fact, PMIPCC is a university chapter which is very vibrant across India. No such, no, I mean, I can say it on record, I guess. No other community in PMI community in India is active like this. The reason I actually wanted him to speak is that only because they're running this vibrant community. Community is nothing but no different from government. That's how I see. It's all people. So he's actually successfully running along with all the board members support obviously. So that's why I wanted him his words here. Thank you for sharing your insights.
Just add something about Pearl City chapter. I forgot. I wanted to talk about it. Just to give you those who don't know Pearl City chapter. PMI is a project management institute that is a not-for-profit organization from USA. It is a professional body for project managers and it has its local, it has chapters across the world. And in India, we have 9 chapters and for Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, we have a chapter called PMI Pearl City chapter. That is where I belong to. I have a general secretary, Mr. Vinay is there, and Seshu, Suresh, Lata, complete PMI Pearl City chapter Vani, everyone has come forward to support him. And we are a not-for-profit organization there for professional bodies. Someone wanted to excel in project management. And for us, this is very important. And Sandhana, we will see as a chapter also, because we work with volunteers for the community well-being, how exactly we can use your app. Maybe you can give a demo to us and we can see how exactly you use this app and
Serial number one. Thank you.
I would like to invite Ujjwal, Global Technology Executive on IQ Labs, to felicitate our beloved speaker.
Guys, just a break. I have World AI Governance guys, like so they are into cybersecurity and they are our special guest. Sir, Manjit, Nagaraj sir. Sir, They came from Mumbai. Okay, so we had a collaboration with Kodryx and some of the other entities. They need to go. That's the reason.
Also in security and GRC and governance part. So it's a very difficult subject for the HR and culture, but in GRC, we discuss about the people process, the culture. It's a completely stake like this, every sector. So maybe related to a department, maybe related to security, maybe related to development, everywhere GRC is applicable. But this product is designed by my friends. So and I just met him in the first time. But definitely, these particular things are really good and it's really needed. So everywhere, human beings are applied. And if someone is taking care of the human beings in the specific culture sense, definitely, is a milestone. Also,
When I was delivering, I'm always saying nature is an unbelievable always. But they are very important to us. Because we need the best resources, they are with us. Now my problem is everyone hates me. Because when I'm a global delivery head, client hates me. Now I'm a government. Everyone, whenever I go for audit, I only question answer, I don't answer. People try to hate me. That's what I know. Instead of AIMS, I'm trying to WIMS, that is Wide Intelligence Management System. Well, like I have 30 years of marriage experience. Instead of like making all complex projects expensive. Feel that I've got to I did not understand the problem. Because I'm leading a work with top five consulting companies across the globe. But still a little bit like understanding. I'll take a demo from thank you. They need to leave.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So let's welcome Sharon Sananya, HRBP PepsiCo, to share her views on culture, ERGs, and belongingness.
Very good evening, everyone. I've known Santana for over half a decade, right? It's somewhere into the sixth year. And I would like to congratulate you, Santana. And I would say I'm super proud of where you are right now. And this is incredibly amazing. And I think it would just not have been possible without the strong support behind you. So I would like to congratulate Surya as well for having reached this far. Um, I think culture is a topic any one of us in this room can talk about, right? We have distinguished veterans, we have uh, the youngsters, those who are joining the organization. I think everyone and anyone can spend 5 minutes or more here talking about culture. But I really liked what Rima mentioned. She said going back to basics. And if you actually look at it, every organization exists to make profits, right? And any of the organizations that we are working on, we will see that we're working in super intense and dynamic environments, right? All of us want to earn profits. And one thing that really makes a difference right now to organizations is innovation, right? We define innovation as that pivot or that the competitive edge. Now, how is it that we really get this competitive edge? How do we really drive innovation? And it's really nice that you brought the most latest topic that every one of us again like talking about AI, right? So you put in innovation into something that culture, and I think culture is super hard to measure, right? It's evolving, it's changing. What brought you here won't get you there, right? And if you actually see, it's the leader at the right at the top who's driving culture, right? All of this that we talk about, sense of belonging, sense of, I'm just super surprised to see that the topic, it's called culture sense. And I think that what really drives culture is a sense of belonging, right? It's a sense of purpose. Like I said, an organization exists to make profit. Why would I want to feel a sense of purpose with an organization? Right? I need to feel that sense of purpose. I need to feel a sense of success. I should be part of a winning team. I should be part of a great team, part of a great organization. I should feel a sense of uh, opportunity, right? It's not just promotions, it's not just a pay hike. What is that additional thing that I'm getting in an organization, right? A sense of well-being, it matters. My mental health. Ask anybody, describe the culture. They will talk about somebody who made them feel good or somebody who made them feel terribly horrible, right? We describe culture in those ways. So to be able to measure it, I think that's super incredible. But then again, I say, measuring it is one piece, right? What to measure, how to measure it is really important. But what we take away from that, right? That's super important. And that's where I think, Santana, you really bring so much value. We have seen you, and I especially have seen you in the last half a decade, bring a sense of purpose, sense of opportunity, sense of success, sense of well-being, sense of leadership. All right. So it's so incredible that it's not just a tool, but also the insights that you as well as the tool bring with it. So with that, I would say congratulations again, and thanks for having me here. Congratulations, Surya.
So let's welcome Naga Saujanya from PMIPCC to felicitate our beloved speaker. Thank you. Now let's welcome Prashant Tiwari, VP and Chief Sustainability Officer, Amara Raja Group for unique perspectives on well-being and culture from sustainability perspectives and any other related insights from you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Santana, thanks for having me here. I'm happy to be in one's HR fraternity. I think you know more about culture than I can imagine, but I remember when I came to the city, Santana is actually one of the first person I know in the city. He's one of my first friends. We met on a cycle ride, and that is when thanks Santana for giving me a place in the city and a place in your heart. Because in fact, I made friends before I actually joined the organization. So I come from Amara Raja. Now, when I stepped in Amara Raja, I noticed one thing. Everyone I interacted with, I asked them, how long have you been working here? So I'll tell you something about my past. So I started my career in Tata Motors. Then I worked for 6 years in Hindustan Unilever. I went to Coca-Cola for 3.5 years. Then I was working for Vedanta Group. And Vedanta has many companies, and every company has a different culture. Then I came to Amara Raja. And I had my doubts that what am I doing here? But when I entered Amaraja and I spoke to people that how long have you been working here? Everybody started their career, 25 years, 40 years. We started this organization in 1985 and everyone I spoke to. I was the youngest, the only person who did not know anyone. And there were people, who left the organization and came back. So I started asking this question to myself. I did not know about Amar Raja. I was in Mumbai, then I was in Gurgaon, so I don't know much about Amar Raja. It's a company based out of Tirupati. Most of our operations are in Tirupati. But there's something working well, right? That people just don't quit. There are people who left the organization, learned from the world and came back and started working there. Now, few things, when I think about this word culture, every organization has a different culture and culture is also not static. So something which was required for Coke as a company in 2011 is very different from what they need to do. I mean, there are times when organizations want to focus on market share, they want to improve their revenue, profitability, they want to innovate, and the culture needs to keep pace with the business requirements. I remember once we had a system in Vedanta where somebody who leaves the organization, they do an exit interview. So they fill a checklist, and after that checklist, they meet someone and share why they are leaving the organization. And after that, the formality gets over. So this lady, she came to me, and I was supposed to be interviewing her. And I looked at her checklist, and everything was fine. So I asked her, if everything is so good in the organization, why are you leaving us? You have tremendous growth opportunity, learning opportunity, your boss is amazing, your team is amazing, everything works so well for you. Why are you leaving the organization? So you know what she said? My full and final settlement is still not done. And that made me wonder that psychological safety you spoke about, right? And that is, I mean, I may not have thought about that word psychological safety, but this is what people feel that if they don't fill it properly and somebody is going to scrutinize it in so much detail and they may not get the correct final certificate, there is something fundamentally wrong and we need to correct it. And then, of course, there was a change in the rule that we will do this exit interview 3 months after the person has left and they have received the full final. And actually, the outcome changed. Now, this lady called a few days later and she said, I just want to change my team. I love this organization, but I want to change my team. I don't think I'm being valued here. So, I mean, there are a lot of such instances. We all manage people. In Amaraja, I would like to share with you something recently which we have started, and we call it thriving index. And for every individual who works for the organization has a thriving index. So what we did is, I think, Santana, and somewhere in your brochure, it also talk about physical wellness. And if I'm physically fit, there are chances I'm more productive, more happy at workplace also. So we took something which can be easily measured. We defined vitality index. Vitality index has four components: your BMI, blood pressure, sugar, and bad cholesterol. It gives you a score. Now this is something which is reactive. I mean something which your body has already undergone and you know where you stand on it. What we today realize is there is one big part which is missing, which is measurement of how happy you feel. The happiness index. Are you stressed? Because your psychological parameters sometimes start defining your physical parameters. Physical parameters can also impact the psychological parameters. And this is where the struggle lies. I think, Santana, I don't know how did you manage to do this. This word culture is such a complicated word. And giving it some maths, some KPIs, ways to track it. I don't know. I have come across this. There are surveys which happens, but we also do a survey every year, and we get to know from 81 we have moved to 82. What does that mean? Nobody knows. Then there are set of learnings which are similar to everybody says we are not happy with the compensation package. You change the question. Sometimes you have a different way of putting the question to get a very different result. So, Santana, I'm sure this tool which you are developing and knowing the kind of person you are, I'm sure you would have put in a lot of thought in developing this product. And the world of today need these kind of things. I think everything else can be managed. There are machines, there are algorithms, there is AI. It should take care of a lot of things. When it comes to people, we need these kind of tools. I think industry would greatly benefit. I'm sure you have figured out, and there would be. I would definitely want to know how the dashboard looks like and how do you measure it on a continual basis. I would also like to understand that, like in Amara Raja, there is one company which makes Amaron batteries. There is certain cash cow. Versus there is another unit which we are putting up is going to be lithium ion. Now you need innovation, young people, a lot of talented people coming from abroad. So the cultural expectations from different set of business is also different. So I would love to understand how do we make a framework to measure, correct ourselves, and excel in whatever we do. So thanks, Antana, and lovely to be here and interact with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
May I call Aswata for felicitation? Thank you. So now let's welcome Snehi Talamraju, Director, Data and Analytics, RSM US LLP.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Santana, for having me here. I know Santana through our cycling community. So again, if you think of all of our communities as Venn diagrams, how many of you know Venn diagrams? The map, where different communities collide. So we are at an intersection of cycling community. But okay, how many of you here have gone through or have known people who, despite being in the office among a lot of people, listening to coffee conversations, or being active on team meetings, still feel truly alone? How many of you have felt that? Not being a sense of belonging, right? So we kind of, I've gone through it myself, where as a member, I kind of truly did not feel part of where I am, where I was, right? Organizations today, they are rich in data, right? We do annual surveys, we do metrics, we do attrition rates. Again, there were a lot of HR people that went in before me, and I come from a data background, right? So I always hated myself being one data point on a KPI or on a dashboard, because you're kind of generalizing what an individual feels or goes through, or what they might feel at multiple levels. It's not actually really captured on in data, right? So for me, again, I was having this conversation with Satana as well, as in, beyond data, right? We are all humans. How do we measure that? And there's something that is far more, again, companies do a lot of things around data, right? You have best in class models, data that you capture, you measure, you use the outcomes, and you do something around it. Good, right? But beyond that, one thing that we do not do, or that we maybe do to a certain extent, but not to an extent where it actually makes sense, is measure something that's far more fragile but far more powerful, which is the sense of belonging, right? Now, you can tell me that, hey, we actually we do this survey, we ask this list of questions, based upon that, we get a Likert score, based upon this score being from 6 to 10, we kind of feel, say, 80% of our people have the sense of belonging, right? But are we really capturing that sense of belonging, right? What I feel, according to me, is a sense of belonging is not about being available, not about being comfortable, right? It's actually the other way around. How confident I am to be able to put forward a question without the fear of the consequences, without the fear of being judged. That for me is belonging, right? How am I, or how are all of us as leaders here, I'm sure there are a lot of leaders in the room, how are we inculcating that culture of belongingness in our organization? And are we able to measure that, right? No, right now, I don't think there's a belongingness score. Again, you guys are the experts. You can tell me if there is one, and if it's really capturing what we feel is truly the sense of belonging, right? Every one of us here have heard this statement, I'm sure: culture is strategy for breakfast, right? All of us heard of it, right? Now, what does culture actually mean, right? Now, how does culture derive from the sense of belonging? As leaders, if, for example, if I have a team member And if the team member is being, if an engineer is being proactive in owning a product that he's working on, and already being proactive about, hey, this is a feature that I feel, we would like to take it to the next level, which we feel might be useful, for our users or for our clients. For me, that is ownership, that is belonging. And as leaders, I think that is a culture that, we need to inculcate. If we have teams, and again, we all have seen teams where they try to, put the ball in each other's court and they try to blame someone else. Rather than that, having teams that collaborate together, that for me is the culture that we all want to look for. And more importantly, as leaders, right, how do we get to hear things firsthand rather than hearing it from the back end, right? Someone behind us is talking about something else and then someone gives us a version of something, right? That is not culture. That is not the culture that we want. And if an employee or if a resource is truly they experience that sense of belonging, all of this would be taken care of by themselves. No, I probably am counterproductive in the sense that, okay, yes, there are analytics, there is data, there are platforms, there are tools, everything else, right? To measure anything related to what we sense is a direction of what belonging is, or is a direction of what culture is. But beyond that, right, there is this softer aspect, there is this thread that connects all of us as humans and as sense of community, as Santana mentioned, right? The effectiveness of employee network groups or the effectiveness of employee resource groups, beyond numbers, of course, right? And if we are able to ensure that this sense of belonging or this sense of culture is something that if we are able to inculcate as leaders, I think we have done a great job of it. And again, I think I would like to congratulate Santana and the Unity Circle team for taking a stab at ensuring that we are able to measure that. And I wish the team all the very best. And again, so with the sense of community, right? Again, I'm part of a lot of communities here locally, cycle community being one of them. There's a developer communities that are out there around AI, etc. We also have a Python developer community, which organizes meetups around around Hyderabad. And we would go to different companies, if you have things that you do around Python, around AI and data, we typically do that. We organize a conference called PyCon Hyderabad every year for the community, by the community. So if any one of you are interested, we have our team member, Kalyan, and we have Sogo here who will be the speaker as well. So feel free to reach out to us, we'll be glad to connect. Thank you again, Santana, for having me. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. I would like to invite Srijit from Reckitt to do the presentation. Thank you, thank you. Now let's welcome Rajkumar Patra, Product Group Lead, Data, Quality and EHS, who had been working with diverse teams over decades of experience. Let's hear from him.
Hello. Yeah, thanks, Santana, first of all, making me part of this wonderful event. So, Santana and I go a long way back. So, when I first joined Reckitt, so Santana was the first guy that I came across. And since then, we have had an amazing journey together. So, we've been in touch for almost more than 8 years now. And wow, I mean, the world has come in full circle for him. I mean, the key passion topics that we always talk about people, culture, and ikigai, right? So the common themes we always thought about, I never realized that there will be a product coming along the way. So I'm really, really excited and happy for you, Sandana. So first of all, congratulations, massive congratulations and my best wishes. And I think I don't want to spend too much time talking about culture. I think you've all heard many different perspectives. So the world thinks of culture in different ways, right? It's a very relative thing. For someone, culture is right. For someone, culture is not a fitting thing, right? So I think from my perspective, I feel culture is something, it's a collective behavior, right? How you definitely want that organization for you to fit in to behave, right? And you immediately get to know whether you fit in or you don't fit in, right? I think it's great to see that you're trying to put a product around this, and I'll be really excited to see how this gels in, because I don't think the amount of maths and the amount of product ever has taken to get it right. I think even today, a lot of HR colleagues, a lot of HR partners struggle to put this in the right way. And you can see the outcome, right? People tend to leave, people tend to be unhappy. There's different ways to look at it, right? So I think from my perspective, I've always been a guy who's involved in transformations, delivery, strategy. So I believed in creating high performing teams, right? And for me, even though I may not perfectly put the word culture, I know what it takes to build a high performing team. How you hire the right people. What will it take to put the right team together that collaborates as a team and then delivers, right? How do you map it to the right objectives, to the right vision, to the right mission, right? And I think the product fit is quite right. As a country, we are a collection of cultures, right? And to put that in a unified direction is a great fit. Right? I think I see a good opportunity here, in fact, a massive opportunity, at least from a country like ours. And when you take it to a global perspective, yes, I think there is a lot to do in order to bring collective together. Right? So I think I don't want to add more to this, but I think to what I think the esteemed colleagues and speakers have also said, I think it's a good opportunity for us to think about it seriously and link it to also to individuals' well-being. I think it's very, very important. So when culture and well-being work together, individual is happy and we can do wonders. And I'll only make one example, one small example. Uh, all of us use WhatsApp and Telegram, right? Do we know how many employees we have? Less than 100. And it's $1 billion companies, right? How? And mostly everyone works remote. You wouldn't even know who is placed where, other than the founder, right? And to put that into a quantification method and to productize it, fundamentally great thing, right? So I think if small group can do $1 billion idea, and today we are talking about AI, right? One member, two member team can also create a $1 billion product, right? So I think it's a great fit. I think I don't want to add too much to it, but I think my best wishes. I'll definitely be very excited to add more use cases, my thoughts, they're always connected. So great to be part of this community here, and thanks for inviting me.
Thank you. Thank you. Alex.
So I would like to invite Sai Kotesh, Versal Labs, to do the felicitation.
So it's not
I would like to invite Divya to do the felicitation.
no, no. No. Really. Very nice.
Thank you, thank you. So now let's welcome Vinod Singh, Director of PepsiCo, share his views.
Thank you for inviting me, Santana. And I've known Santana since 4 or 5 years now, more than 5, probably from my previous organization. Very glad to be here. Each of you have spoken a lot about culture, etc. I want to keep it very, very short. Before that, I would like to congratulate you on this successful launch. And to talk about culture as such, a lot of us say that culture is strategy for breakfast. Strategy actually sets your transformation direction. So culture is the speed that drives your transformation. That's how I believe in it. Culture predominantly is divided between tight culture and loose culture. I'm not sure how many of you have heard, but I would strongly recommend if you are interested in culture and science of culture, do read Rule Makers and Rule Breakers from Michelle Clefant. She's a psychologist and professor at Stanford. She has defined this framework of tight-induced culture. I would strongly recommend everyone to read it because tight cultures are cultures where organizations where you need strict rules and directions to drive the organization. Loose cultures are organizations where you need a lot of innovation. But as leaders, we all need to have a balance of it. So we need that ambidexterity to drive innovation in our organization. And it's pretty great to see a product like Culture Sense and Belong OS to actually come and measure it because it tells leaders like us and the world on where you are and how to balance that. So that I would say thank you once again and a big congratulations, Santana and team. Good luck for you.
Thank you. So I would like to invite KC Director from OpenText and PMI PwC to felicitate Manish. I would like to invite Vinay to do the felicitation. Thank you, thank you. So now let's welcome Swapna Rattal, Head HR, Randstad GCC. Okay, so let's go forward to our next speaker. So let's first thank you to all of the speakers who shared their insights and views on today's events and product launch. Thank you. Thank you for all the great insights. So now let's welcome to the real core of the event for the product launch. So let's call Santana for the launch of the event. I would like to invite all the speakers and members from Kodryx AI for the event.
So I would like to invite Sonu Kumar, Nikita, and also all the speakers for launching the event. I was trying to think what is the innovative way to launch. There were many things I was thinking. I was already going into a lot of activities for event planning. So I was not innovative enough. So at last I decided to stand with a poster. Oh, sorry about that, but this is how we're going to launch. So hold this in front and take a photo shot. So I'd like to invite all the speakers. Take the speakers.
You on the center of it. No. Sure.
You all must witness. I'd like to have the Sonu and Nikita take the stage. Thank you very much.
అవసరం లేదు ఏమైనా ఉంటే డిలీట్ చేస్తా వీడియోలే ఫోటోలే కదా
Let me introduce Sonu Kumar and Venkata Tal. So they are actually the founders of the Kodryx AI. They are the strategic partnership for, they are the strategic partners for this technology, where they are kind of AI experts. So they, Venkata is from a cybersecurity standpoint, is an expert, and Sonu Kumar is AI is celebrity as such. So they have been doing a very good work from AI perspective. So they have contributed development.
So, guys, let me start with a storyline. Okay, because you heard a lot of things. So, the relationship with Unity Circle and Kodryx AI, how it started, like. So, one day I was in Botanical Garden for TG10X walk. So, every Saturday, all the CEOs have been having a walk in Botanical Garden. So what has happened is like I met Selvan. That's how our love story started. I told about where I come from, the industry experience and those things. And then what motivated him is like the cultural thing because predominantly we work in product development and all of the deep tech in AI. Okay, not bothering about the cultural thing. So I was very much motivated and moved at what his vision was. So I told Selvan like Selvan, you just visit our company, just have a talk with my team, and then we can look up it what goes further. So visited my company and then we had a very detailed, structured discussion. Okay, so in a nutshell, what is culture sense for me as a CEO is like it's like active and passive listening. Okay, so active listening is like all the HR guys, the surveys and other things. The passive listening is from the cyber security because I'm a cyber security and cyber crime intervention officer. Okay, so what we do in cyber security is like basically, we do the ethical part of the cyber security, and the it's like active and passive listening. Passive listening is like we listen to the particular employee, their conversations, their email conversations, everything, with the consensus of their. It is not like because when I heard about this one, I was thinking in my mind whether the companies will be accepting the process. That's where I was discussing with my World AI governance team and other things. That's the reason I got the governance people. Okay. And they told them, oh, my God, already when the major contract done, I think employees are okay with getting the information for the organization. So that was the green signal from the company's point of view. Yeah, one thing I need to appreciate Selvan, it was seven month journey, and every time it's like he's like a team member. He does not act like a client actually. So we had very detailed toll gate reviews. That's the reason the product was developed in a very fast pace compared to other products that we do. Predominantly in Kodryx, what we do is three layers. One is AI development and services, AI cybersecurity, and AI governance. Okay, and we are good at three aspects. One is vision, voice, and OCR. So we do a lot of research work. Sonu can talk about the technical details because he's the founder. Okay, so Sonu.
Hi, thank you. Thank you, Venkata. So one big thing is we actually, from a application perspective, we do only metadata level tracking. We kind of understand who is talking between each other very often, who's having a very good social network, social capital. So we don't, so we preferably, only when the company actually allows us, we will actually do that, going into the conversations. We are actually not talking, we mainly do at the metadata level and anonymous report. That's kind of allowed across the world. That's what we actually do.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Sangaji. First of all, I'm really happy, to be back at Oklahoma. I really like this place.
Sarvan is not here. No problem. It's a great co-working space. Anybody interested, feel free to come over and work from here because it is a very good view. And this is a very satisfying moment for Sansana and the entire Unity Circle team because we co-built this product. That's just friends. I'm going to talk about that in a bit. For people who don't know me, my name is Sonal. I come from West Bengal. I was born in Bihar, by the way, and have been in Hyderabad for collectively I think 9 years now, and have been in different parts of the world, US, Middle East. I was there, and we started Kodryx last I think a year ago. Okay, this company I mostly have been in venture Garu have been mostly in enterprises. I have been enterprise architect for 20 odd years, and I always have been an entrepreneur. I'm a venture. Okay, I build ventures, sold it, and I'm also a YouTuber. I do YouTube. I have a YouTube channel called AI Anytime, one of the fastest growing channel in the country right now. It's sponsored by Nvidia. I'm waiting for the slides to come. Okay, I will not talk about culture now because we've already spoken about it. So okay, we are here. So I'm not gonna, create the FOMO out here that AI is already taking a lot of job and it will keep on doing it. I am someone who's a very strong advocate of saying this statement that AI will take over humans. There is no doubt about it. It's already doing it. And when we talk to teams, when we talk to organizations and their teams who comes from belongings or HR, they now have to innovate, in a way that they have to innovate now in a very, of course, in a very rapid pace, with the technology also moving very rapidly. Okay. So this culture sense product that we have co-built with Unity Circle in a record time, like we did it in 3 months. We can do this when we compare this with a lot of other companies, they cannot do it. I can like proudly say that. Like we are the builders, we know how to do it, we know how to co-build, we know how to build products. It's not a cakewalk. Nowadays, it's easier to build products using AI because AI is at your disposal. Right? You can just do white coding and build an MVP quick. That is not at all a product. It will not take you anywhere. Because we did also the same thing. When we started this product, when we started to build this product, we were white coding. And after 2 weeks, I got a ping that you guys are not doing enough. And I hope my guys will remember it in the back. And Santana said, we are slow down. He caught us off guard. He said, you guys are not working. And I told him, okay, no problem. And then Galu said, okay, it's not happening. This our first client. That's why I respect law. Right? And if today somebody said, probably will not hear that much because we have so many clients now. Now he told us that we are not doing enough. We are white coding. The product is not stepping up nicely. I told Venkat Garu, don't worry. I always have my blinkers on. So we assembled a team and we expedited the entire process and built that in 3 months. And today team will show you that a very beautiful product we have built, a very good experience, throughout the user experience of this product, because that is what we wanted to do, with this. Just a couple of minutes on this, right? If you look at how the enterprises, how the corporates have been stepping up now because of all the things that are happening in belonging, in the field of belongings, right? If you look at the left hand side, that's where we were like 20 years back. Like when you started your career, you might be sitting into a very separate cabins or a room which is not like cubicles and whatnot. Now people are saying we need an open space, kind of like we can innovate, we can work, we can brainstorm. If you look at the right hand side, my right. Okay, this is where we are seeing now today. Okay, so when we talk about culture, it's not only about tech, it's about how the organizations are bringing up new policies, what kind of vision they have, the entire CHRO vision that we talked about. So this line is very important for us to know. Okay. Because a lot of founders are here, a lot of leaders are here. Please do not pressurize your team. Okay. I never do that and I get the best out of them. I will always get the best out of them. You have to be kind with human. You cannot go and say, okay, work 12 hours a day. Like we do 12 hours a day, but we also give enough leave so they recover. That has to be there. That's why we will succeed. I am a strong believer of it. Like we will succeed because we know what we are doing, we are clear in our thought. And for a company like Unity Circle now, you'll be hiring a lot of people. And you are someone who believes in more human touch So I will also probably suggest you that my wish that you be kind with people. We don't pressurize them. Okay. Next. The reality, right? Work environment, we talked about the drift. See, a lot of people are not happy in mostly 9 to 5 jobs. Okay, they say that, and they have decided for themselves, right? Because not everybody can come into a venture journey or they cannot start something. They are because our the entire culture of this IT industry have been set up like that. From you do BTech, you go and you do a job, and that's how it starts. Very people are happy. When you talk about people who are like mid-experience, from 0 to 5 years of experience, they are the least happy. Okay, when it comes to enterprises, leaders are mostly happy because their roles are different. Like they are not put under that much of pressure. I mean, their pressure is different. We know because a lot of leaders are here. I don't want to go into that controversy, but people who are mid-experienced, they get all this pressure. Okay, so you see this. But the problem is that a lot of these companies are not doing enough to analyze this and how do they solve it now. Okay. Because they are only sending surveys. Let's do a pulse survey. Let's do this work thing or whatever quick surveys we send it. Okay. And they just look at this survey and they get basic insights like sentiment analytics. So they get okay, how many of people have voted, how many of them are working, in a day or something. But that is not enough because those insights will not take you anywhere. So and when we were discussing with him, he also wanted to do the same thing because he understands, because he has been in the industry for so many years, he understands this entire domain. He wanted to build something which nobody is doing it. Before coming to this event, I was doing a lot of research at what I have to come and say here. And I read a very good case study that Rapido did. So Rapido now is the leading, player in Indian mobility industry, better than Ola and Uber. 5 million rides. 5 million customers they got it. Okay. 5 million rights for the wrong statement, cut it off. 5 million users now they have captured, more than Ola and Uber, because they build a very similar tool like this. I'll give you that name, check it out. They're working with some companies in the US and they use the similar thing to look at how their team is working internally. They're a very small team. And now they are a bigger player than Ola and Uber because they started focusing on culture, they started focusing on how do we get these insights and analytics that will help them improve their internal processes of retaining talent. Because if you don't retain talent, you will not grow. So that's the important thing. So, and they were using again AI based. We'll go next. Next. This, yeah. So when we started building this, I think when I just talked about it, we are looking at two things here: active listening and passive listening. So in active listening, we are looking at surveys, very customized and personalized surveys which are adaptive. Because surveys has to be designed based on behavior of your employee. It cannot be a generic survey. Let's send a weekly survey. Let's send, let's say we have this product launch. After that, we go and send a generic survey to take feedback. I mean, it cannot take you anywhere. If you want to find out if your employees are happy, what kind of mental state they are in, and what's happening. So we worked together and we created n number of surveys which are adaptive based on what you are posting internally on Yammer or Viva Engage. How are you working? How many hours you are working? What kind of discussions you are having? What kind of messages you are sending? Based on all this insight, we created numerous surveys, customized surveys, and fit into the system. So that's called active listening that we did. On the passive listening, which is one of our toughest problem we have solved last year. Yeah. That's the only platform that currently you find out anywhere globally that can connect with numerous systems like Slack, like Microsoft Teams, Outlook, Zoom. You just name it, we have the connectors ready. Just by simple configurations, you can connect with all these tools. No platform in the world had currently. Not even the best of the companies can provide these connectors. We have done thorough research on that. We are the first company in the world who has built it. We should be proud of it. And how we did it, of course, I'm not technical deep dive. We have been building MCP servers, to connect with this tool and getting all the data and then generating insights. So the passive listening, what we do, we connect with all these tools, like I just mentioned it, and get all the data which is under DDPA or any data regulatory act. Okay, we are not taking any data which is not under consent of the employee. Okay, so please keep this in mind because that's a question somebody also was asking me that how you guys are securing data, how you guys are collecting this data because employee data are very sensitive, right? So The team will talk about it when they show the demo. I think they're good. So, next. Yeah, so just to wrap it up, okay, this product we're gonna demo it today. We'll build it to you and we'll take it to a lot of clients. But I tell you currently, I'm already in touch with a lot of people who are looking forward to it. A very good product we have built. I'd like to thank my entire team. Okay, all young men sitting in the back. Thank you so much for all the hard work. Uh, there was just one more slide, but I'll just tell you. There are people who understand it a little bit. We have more than 2,000 GitHub commits on this project. More than 2,000 Git commits, 20 commits on daily basis. 20 PRs have been merged on daily basis on this GitHub project, approved by myself, approved by my team lead. And I told you when he got us off guard, I was like, no, stop everything. We'll work on this for a week and we'll wrap it up. Thank you so much for all the efforts you guys have put in. Thank you so much for your time. And that's everything. Thanks everyone. Thanks everyone.
I would like to request Akshat and Yash to please be here. Let me request Ayaz Ahmed, Akila and Kiranmai for felicitation of our Kodryx team. Ayaz Ahmed, Akila and Kiranmai. I would request Sharon to please be here for felicitation. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Kodryx team. So, let me call upon the engineers onto the stage to share their story. Aditya, Tejasvi, and Karthik.
Okay, good evening, everyone. We are privileged to be here today and share this moment with all of you. As engineers, generally we are vaccines. We generally write code, fix bugs, and solve problems quietly. But today I'm really happy. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm really happy to be forward, talking with every one of you and discussing about our product successes. So
talking about culture set, it's not a product that you can see quite normally because it is a trust system that we have embedded into technology. Okay, it's like to be specific, we monitor the entire organization, not specifically an individual. It helps us understand how the organizations need to work efficiently. It helps us understand like where the system needs attention. Okay. And to be brief on that as well, it tells us where communication needs improvement, where collaboration needs support, and where leadership makes a difference. So culture sets is such kind of a product. And to conclude this, it's a product that will definitely make the organization grow efficient manner with respect to the workplace culture. And I am really happy to be here with my team. And you know what makes coders or generally engineers like us stay motivated? It's definitely the best team and support we have from our organization. Like that's our agenda for this product as well. Because whenever we made mistakes or messed up things, our organization and definitely Sandrati, everyone were very supportive. They told us that okay, you can make mistakes, but you need to learn from it and grow. So we are really happy for that. Thank you for everything.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you so much for being here. And myself, Sundar Kodryx AI from Kodryx AI, one of the developer that has contributed culture sense in the guidance of Sandrati. Culture sense isn't just a product where you see in the big companies because I have just a general question: what makes a company grow? It isn't the projects, it isn't the clients they sign. It's the employers because they are the foundation. When they start to believe that they are belong to this company, when they think that this is my company and I have to work for it, that's where the company starts to grow. And to be honest, I guess we all need to give a big round of applause to Santanaji because the product doesn't just come by code, it comes from a vision. And the vision that has come from Santanaji has given birth to this culture sense. And culture sense, when we started to develop it, we were just thinking it's just another project that we code and deploy it. But it wasn't just a simple code because it is for us, it is for the employers, it is for to understand the culture that has been going between the employees. It is to understand what they are having, what are they doing together, what is the culture between them, how it is going, they understand the trends, how the company should grow, and what is the crisis that can come before them. So this is where our culture sense has been working on. And thank you, Santanaji, for giving me this big opportunity in Kodryx AI. Thank you.
Good evening, ma'am. I'm Tejas. I've been very glad to work on this project. This is not just a project. From the beginning, I was really excited. Santanaji was thinking, having a great idea about this. His idea really matched with my ideology, and that's what made it very personal. While working, everyone was really supportive. His words is always motivating us with his words, and his more than collaborating rather than a client. He used to come to us, always share his thoughts, and was always supportive. I'd like to thank my team, Kodryx, sir, for believing in us and having a great vision in our project. And I would like to also thank Sonuji. So, because she was always guiding us with his brilliance. We kept learning from him. And thank you, Kodryx, and thank you, participants.
First of all, I need to thank you, Santanaji, for trusting us and giving the project. So, as being a founding engineer in the Kodryx, so first we thought like, what is the product? Like, people will think of the culture in the manner of India culture or the foreign culture like that, but never people thought of building a culture for the society or the corporate. So where we build a new idea, like I never see like many startups are building the products on technical or like on non-technical things, but where it comes under the culture of the people and how the behavior of the people. So where it is all mandatory for in each company. So while we're in the startup stage, we don't know how to behave and how to do all the things. So we also learning building with the culture sense through Santanaji. So we are learning how to behave and how to be in the culture of the corporate. I think we started with you and like we are making more culture of the product. And thank you for trusting us, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, team, entire team. So it's just two lines actually. I'll just say. So when I went, I mean, trust is built with Venkata first, and then we actually followed up. Went into the team. I saw Yash, Shit, and then there is this man behind the Sono. He comes with a heavy, like a CTO personality. So he actually comes with heavy technology. So I was super impressed with trust and then technology background. And then comes these guys. I went to the office once, and then I met before anybody else. I went to met Tejasvi. I was to my surprise. She said, whatever we feel in our heart, she said, I'm very excited about this product. Somebody, other personality is saying about this product. So it actually reflected for me. So I was super impressed when she said, so I was like thrilled when somebody else said, I'm very excited to work on this product. So then that was the starting. Then came this Aditya. He's a gem. He has, I mean, actually, this product launch idea itself, he only told. I did not have this idea itself. He told to Sonu and Sonu told me. Then only I started to think and took it seriously. Actually, it has changed my work itself because I've invited so many and you have trusted and then you have all come for this meetup. So you actually turned it around. Actually. Thank you. This was very good. And the way, I mean, I don't know, how come these are all very young, 2 years, when you're 2 years, I was also very hardworking, but I was not smart like you, man. So I was only hardworking. So these Gen Z, man, if you properly work with them, they will do wonders for you.
Guys, average age of these guys are under 25. They are technically very sharp. Because, see, I have 20 plus years of experience. What I see in them is very different. When I throw a problem to them, they come with multiple options. That's what Sonu was telling, right? Initially, we did some vibe coding and Santana was came to us and it impacted me. Who can do this process? Like I have PN team and these guys jump in and execute, sir. That's the good part, like.
Thank you. So amazing team. And Venkatakandan, I thank you very much. You have also, we only did that ONA, Organization Network Analysis. They just turned it around. I thought it's a very complicated picture. I don't know, it's complicated maybe. With the data, they actually, projected a very nice window where one person is how many people they are connected to, interface. When I built interfaces, and I was also a developer, Java developer, and team leader and all, but I did not do this kind of magic. Amazing guys, thank you very much. Amazing team, super knowledgeable, and at the same time, super smart, super sharp. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I would re- so I would request Surya Raj. So I would request Surya Rajendran, Head of Operations Unity Circle, to do the felicitation. Thank you to the engineers team. So, Unity Circle believes in open mic. So now we have some refreshments and also open mic to share your views, your insights to the people and or anything related. So let's invite Anindita Mukherjee Sinha. Next we have Vinay Babu Tarala to share his insights. So I would request GV Reddy to share insights. So I would like to invite Agila Pasham to share her insights.
A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here with you all this evening. And Santana, hearty congratulations. I have known Santana for almost 8 years now, and the chai pe charcha kind of discussions we used to have were quite fun. And the kind of conversations we used to have is all about people, community, and culture. What really fascinates me is the unspoken, the tacit kind of expectations that each and every individual has. And that is what actually translates into the culture that we build around each one of us. And collectively, it becomes a community. Now, the way that I see it here is each one of us really long for a belongingness. And this evening, I've heard so many times people talk about culture. I think I've not heard that much in all the 23 years that I've been with this IT industry. I really wish, each one of us really considers that as an important element. It's not just the work that we do, but the cultures that we build, the way we communicate with each other, and also the kind of commitment we have towards this, building this community. And I know building some method around this smartness is definitely a feat in itself. And I always have a great sense of respect for Santana because he's a man that I have seen. He has a great vision, a big vision, and just not that. And he just follows to make sure that vision becomes reality. And that is what we see today as Unity Circle in all of us and the launch also. An incredible product definitely, Santana, because something that is quantitative is very easy to talk about. But something that is very passive and qualitative, definitely we cannot ever put number around it. And I think this is a great dashboard that I really look forward to looking at it because that is something which we can always look at in improving the overall culture of the organization. And something remarkable really happens when we put that into place. Why? Because employees, they do not just exist, they thrive. And if you want your employees to thrive, then that is one thing that you bring belongingness. And belongingness, trust me, it is not a big gesture that you give. It is just a collection of small, tiny, hundreds of moments that we build in terms of connectiveness, making them feel safe, seen, heard, respected, and building that great community to make sure that we have a great culture together. And the highlight of the evening for me at least was the young team that just presented over here. It is truly remarkable and incredible. Guys, hearty congratulations to you as well. Wish you all great success. Thank you.
Thank you. So I would request Kundalal Nagaraju Garu to do the felicitation. Okay, so I would request Madhurima to do the felicitation. So I would request Anjali to share her insights.
uh, Unity Circle here. I would like to congratulate Santana Surya Chechi for this wonderful product launch. I guess culture is the most neglected topic in every company. So they putting it on the top and highlighting it is something which is unique, is what I felt. And launching this product would surely serve the company needs. Thank you.
I would request Santana sir to do the felicitation. Thank you, thank you.
So, Jenny is a marathoner. She has climbed the Himalayas. So, different things she has done. She's a line man. She's an iron woman that way. And she has been an integral part in the community where I have basically, wherever I am succeeding in the cycling community, I have actually two people, Anjani and then Ravi Sambai. So, I'm actually more of a strategy and he is head of marketing, value gold, Vasali, real estate, and then Kalash as well as. So she's kind of a star in her career as well, from a marketing perspective. Ravi is kind of a very social capital, I mean, high social capital in the city. Hyderabad, who is into real estate, and he is very operationally very active. So given an idea, given a strategy, they actually roll it out. So that's what they have done. So if I'm shining, it's because of this like that. Thank you. Thank you.
I would request Ayaz Ahmed to share his insights and views. Okay, so next we have Kiranmai to. So now we have Madhurima Puksha. Next on we have Ravi Kiran. Ravi Kiran. So we would invite Ravi Sambari to share insights.
Santana, congratulations. Congratulations. And we know him very personally. And Unity Circle, I feel his heart is pumping in Unity Circle. The way of energy, the way of time is given. I feel India might be watching something different. As HR policy, whatever we see worldwide, they're thinking in one parameter. This man is thinking in a different parameter. So I feel I work globally. I never saw a world of culture. Even the white people used to tell me, please, thank you, but never talk about culture. So I'm thankful that you brought the word of culture. But one of the important thing is any man's idea is successful when we combine together, when we show strength to him that we are there with him. So
anybody has a chance to explore the opportunities with Unity Circle, give them an opportunity. So there might be a change that you might not make a change, but with the help of Unity Circle, you can make take the.
Thank you.
So I would request everyone to please stand up. And Sonu, Santana, Venkat, and Akshat, Surya to please come here. And Santana, sir, please let's do the countdown, the product launch and the demo. Let's see how it goes.
Sorry, it has been too long. Thank you for letting me finish.
So let's all together do the countdown from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Just, already processing it.
So I'm going to give a round of applause. So I would like to thank our media partner TechLens for all of this. Karthika, Harsha, and Krishna. So any feedbacks or any opinion people out there? You're free to speak.
Thank you very much. It's been too long. Listening part. The direct closure. Before we wrap this up, I'd like to thank everyone and all the volunteers. Thanks to Mahima, thanks to all the people who have been doing the recording, and thanks to Coco. Thank you. Thank each and everyone who have come here today. I really would like all of you to have some refreshments that we can chat, photos and all. Really appreciate all of you to being very patient as we continue talking. We did about not very good insights. It was very insightful experiencing because thank you very much. Thanks for the
Can we take a group photo?
Mahima, thank you very much for the encouragement. It's very
Take my
Good evening, everyone. So we are the team of TechLens, a corporate digital media partner. Mainly, we focus on corporate events, tech events, and we follow the concept of EOD, that is delivering the result by end of the day. So we mainly focus on events like conferences, product launches, and also tech events like hackathons. If you're more curious to know about the corporate world, do follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn. Thank you. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. And congratulations, Team Unity Circle. Johnson. Marks the motivate